Okay, so we shall see a new concept today called exception handling. Okay, so since you have got to know how to do functional programming, how to do module programming, how to do object oriented programming, and you have understood the difference between class, abstract class, and interface. Now almost all concepts of programming you have got, the way how you provide the syntax, topics, and all you have got. Now you have to go ahead and see uh, the other concepts, how it works when we are doing program, right? So this concept is in exception handling concept is all about the way how your interpreter is handling your program, right? So here we will understand how our interpreter is handling our program. If if some error comes in the program, how interpreter is going to handle it. Will that execute our entire program properly, or will that leave it in the middle, or it will leave in the middle and inform to you that I cannot execute, or without informing to us it will jump from the middle of the execution. So the behavior of the interpreter we are going to study in the concept of exception handling. Okay, so to get to know more about exception handling, first we should understand different types of errors. Different types of errors. Okay, so there are total three types of errors we have. Okay, if you see, we have altogether three types of errors: compile time error, logical error, and runtime error. Okay, so what do you mean by compile time error? Any idea? So if you see a plus b is what statement you are writing in the code. Okay, and instead of normal braces, let's say you have given this brace. So what happens, tell me? So your compiler will throw an error, right? It will say that syntax is missing, something like that. Okay, so basically syntax wrong, correct? So the errors which are being handled by compiler is called compile time error. Okay, so this is one of the example, right? Or else I can also tell you this is one example, and you are providing 10 equals to a. So is it the valid statement? No, right? So you have to write a equals to 10. So these kind of basic syntax errors, okay, so handled by a compiler, that is called compile time errors. So how to get rid of these errors? You have to ensure of not to give mistakes in the code, as simple as that, right? Okay, now what do you mean by logical error? You have, let's say, in program a equals to 10. Okay, a comma b is equals to 10 comma 20, right? Okay, just I'm writing next line here itself, try to understand. So print of addition is a minus b. Okay, so when you give like this, guess what is going to happen? So your result is how much? Minus 10. Result is minus 10, correct? It will show minus 10. So is there any error in the program? There is no error in the program actually. Okay, so whatever the way you have given the code is, everything is correct, but expected answer hasn't come. So answer itself is error. Am I right or wrong? So what you have done, See, syntactically, there is no problem in the statements. Okay, so these statement and this statement, these two things are correct. But what mistake you made is instead of plus, you have given minus. Am I right? So these are called logical errors. So error in the logic. So whenever you give logical errors, compiler will execute smoothly, right? But the expected results will not come. So if you submit this program to the end user, okay, so it will become mess. Am I right or wrong? Entire operation itself is working in a opposite direction. So that's the reason you have to ensure of while giving coding, logics must be correct. So these sort of errors are called logical errors. Okay, right. Now let's try to understand runtime errors. Okay, okay. So these are the errors. Okay, these errors occur at the time of execution of your program. Okay, now let me give an example of this. So our focus is on this. Okay, entire concept is, our focus is on runtime error. Okay, so not on the first two. Let's go ahead and see how this runtime errors comes. Okay, okay, so let's see runtime error example 1. See, str1 is equals to input of enter s1. Okay, so str2 is equals to input of enter s2. Right, now print your str1 plus str2. Okay, control s. Now I am going to execute this program f5. So enter s1. Now I am entering s1 as like, let's say Python. Fine. Now s2, string s2 I am entering as like 100. Okay, so what it is showing, tell me. It's showing simple addition, correct? Okay, so right now you see, one second, uh, just a second. Okay, uh yeah, sorry. So Now, so point is, so I have not given. It should not be a string addition. It is like a number addition. Now let me tell you. If I give Python, okay. So what is the error it is telling? Value error. So what is that value error? See, basically, see, even though error has come for the N1, it has to show me N2, right? Or else let me make you understand in this way. First one, let me give 100. Okay, this is no error because tell me, your yeah, so your integer, you have given proper integer, so that's fine, it is working. Now here, so you're converted into integer, right? So you have to provide the input as like integer, then only it will work. So but what's happening here, you see, instead of integer, you are giving something else. Okay, so what it is saying, it's a value error. So let it show value error. What is the problem? I will tell you. This is the one simple example of runtime error. But what is the implication of this? Still, you have not understood. I will tell you. I will tell you with the next program. Control N, Control S. So exp2, see, runtime error 2. Now let's say you take LST is equals to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50, right? Now print of LST is fine. LST print of LST of uh, 3 is going to display how much? 3 is going to display how much? 40. Am I right? Now let us go ahead and see print of LST of 5. Okay, so control S F5. Now what is the error it is showing? Tell me. LST of 3, it has shown 40. Overall list it has printed. So half program executed properly, and your interpreter has failed in execution of which line? Can you guess? Here you have given LST of a 5 to display, but actually LST of a 5 is not there. There is no LST of 5. Correct? You have only up to index of 4. Am I right? So that is the reason. What is the error it is displaying? Index error. So I have told you right from starting, whenever you have seen this kind of word, two words, it's a combination of two words. First word is some meaningful statement, and second word is like error. Okay, word error. Okay, first is some word, and second word is error. So these are called exceptions. These are called exceptions. Okay, exception classes. So basically whatever the errors you are seeing in the program for now, these are called exceptions. Okay, so what do you mean by exceptions here exactly? These are runtime errors. At the time of execution of program, your interpreter cannot able to execute certain logic, certain code. At that time it will throw this runtime errors. Okay, right. So what happens if error comes? What happens if interpreter cannot able to execute? So what is the problem? We can go ahead and modify. So we can go ahead and modify this 5 to 2. No, so something else we can write, right? Why you are bothering, sir? Like the way till how many till these many days we have manually rectified errors. So likewise today also you can rectify error. Why you are really focusing on this concept? Let me tell you what happens exactly. After this line, imagine very important line. Okay, must execute. Okay, so imagine this portion of the logic. Okay, this portion of the logic, at any cost you have to execute. Okay, fine. So first portion of the logic, God knows whether it executes or not. I am least bothered, but then these are some very important lines in the logic. See, it's something like that. When your mom is telling to you, okay, you are alone at home, so you have to log. You have to come to, let's say, your relative's house. Okay, so mom is at the relative's house, and you came from college, and what you have to do is you have to bring ABCD items to relative's house. You have to carry ABCD items to relative's house. So your mom is telling whether that ABCD items, whether you bring or not, okay, even if you miss some items also, I'm bothered. Even if you don't bring any items also, that I am least bothered. Okay, if you bring it is good. But point is, while coming out from the home, lock the door. If you miss locking the door, I will kill you. This is what your mom says. This is our regular way of understanding, right? So likewise, if you see, even if this executes or not, okay, in the logic, I'm least bothered. Okay, so I can manage, but this step in the program is must and should get execute. This is what the scenario. Now you see, okay. Print. Okay, so there are two important statements supposed to execute: control S and F5. You see what had happened? Tell me. The first important, the initial portion of the logic got executed properly, but since exception has come, okay, so where interpreter could not able to handle LST of 5, what had happened? Tell me. So your interpreter started executing your logic. All these lines got executed, and when it comes to this line, interpreter could not understand what to do. This fellow given LST of 5, and LST of 5 is not there in LS list. So what should I do? What should I do? So it cannot execute it. So what it will do is it will jump out from the program. Okay, it is called escaping. Okay, so in layman terms, what we call escape is it escaped. Okay, with how, without executing the other portion of the logic. So this is the very important point we have to understand, right? Whenever interpreter cannot able to execute the some statements, okay, so what it does is it will silently jump out from there. Okay, so this is called uh, exception. Okay, your interpreter is dynamically, while executing your program, whenever it could not able to handle, it will stop the execution of the program and it will jump out from there. So this kind of execution is called abnormal execution. Okay, so this is abnormal execution. Okay, fine. So you are like you, as I told you, your mom asked you to get some things from home, and those things you are not able to find at home. So what you are doing, without locking the door, you are getting out from the home and not even meeting your mom. Okay, because you are worried to face mom, so you are escaping. So it's like, abnormal execution in layman terms, we have to call it as like escaping. Okay, so if you escape, what happens in the layman term? In you're not locking your door, correct? So automatically intruders will come, thieves will come, and they will loot your home. Like the way, if you don't close the program execution properly, your data gets hacked. Okay, so your data gets hacked in the program, and automatically you are going to lose the secureness of your data. Okay, so that is what is going to happen. Okay, now let me show another. Runtime error is called exception. Okay, runtime error is also called exception. So let us see third example. Let's say you are reading int of input of enter numerator. Okay, numerator means what? In the division you give the upper one, right? B is equals to int of input of denominator. Okay, now division is equals to A by B, right? Print division is division. Okay, now print mandatory statement. Okay, you see control S F5. See in the bottom I am giving 100 100 divided by 2. So division is 50 and mandatory statement is getting execute. All good. Control S F5. Let me give once again. Now let me give 1000 and by 100. The division is 10 and mandatory statement is getting execute. All good. But let's see if I do this, what happens. 100 and I'm giving denominator 0. Can you restrict me? You cannot restrict me, right? Because 0 is also an integer. So when I give 0, what is going to happen? You just see. So here your interpreter cannot able to perform the operation. What is that operation? 100 by 0. So 100 by 0 is what? Can anybody do this calculation? 100 by 0? It leads to infinity, right? Anything by 0 is infinity. So can you represent infinity? You cannot, right? So that is the reason how to show infinity to end user. This is what the confusion your interpreter is facing. So it cannot able to show infinity to end user. So that is the reason your interpreter is executing these lines up to A by B. 100 by 0 it perform. It cannot able to handle this step. So this is the line. It is not able to process properly. So that is the reason from here it is jumping out, right? So abnormal execution means that. Okay, so what had happened? End of day, our important statements we are not able to execute, right? So I hope you have understood basically what is runtime error. Runtime error means at the time of execution of your logic, your interpreter cannot able to handle some statements. At that time it will, without intimating to you, abnormally it will execute, it will come out from the program. Okay, so this leads to security problems. Basically exception handling is all about uh, security, how to eradicate this security insecurity challenges. So you are missing the execution of these lines. Without executing properly, your logic gets closed, your program gets closed, your interpreter is moving out. See, you have handed over your program to interpreter and the interpreter has left it like that and jumped from there, and somebody will come and hack your code. So that is what going to happen. Fine. So that this is the concept of exception handling. So how to handle this concept, sir? Tell me how to handle this concept. So so you can write a couple of lines in the above code, like 100 by 0 code is there. No, in the above code, interpreter could not able to handle 100 by 0, which leads to infinity. Okay, could not able to handle 100 by 0, leads to infinity. Therefore it is terminating the execution of the program abnormally. Okay, impact is we are not able to execute the remaining portion of the code. Okay, in which compulsory execution statements may there, like file closing. Okay, I'll tell you that. If we do not ensure of entire program executing, okay, so run, this is called runtime error, which is also called exception. If we do not handle this runtime error, it leads to security challenges. Okay, therefore we need to concept of handling runtime errors is called exception handling. Okay, concept of handling runtime errors is called exception handling. So you understood now basically what is the concept all we are going to explore. Since interpreter is failing in execution of your logic properly, right, it is going to jump. So you should ensure that, hey interpreter, don't go away, right, wait, I will make you to execute entire program. Okay, so you just be there like that only. So that is what you are trying to train your interpreter. Okay, so that is the concept of exception handling. Okay, exceptions are classes in Python. Okay, exceptions are classes in Python. Okay, so let us go ahead and see types of exceptions. We have two types of exceptions. Okay, first one is built-in exceptions. So can you guess what is going to be the second one? Of course, user defined exceptions. Built-in exceptions and user defined exceptions. Okay, so should I explain what is built-in exception and what are user defined exceptions? By name itself you can understand them, right? So built-in means by default Python provided exceptions. User defined means we, like end user and developer, we can also able to create exceptions. Correct? So just take this. Okay, so for all the exception classes, base class, that is parent class, is base exception class. Okay, so I would like to give some sort of you know tree structure. You just take base exception is a super class. Now out under this you have exception class, right? And exception class contains two more child classes. So just write on this. So standard error, warning. Okay, so standard error is a parent class of the list of classes which I am going to write now. Arithmetic error, and warning class is the parent class of deprecation warning. This you see a lot in machine learning. Deprecation warning. Okay. Assertion error. Runtime warning. So syntax error. These are the various errors you keep come across. Import warning. So warnings you don't have to bother. Okay, it's just that it is alerting you like this may not work, this will work, something like that. But you have to really focus on standard errors. So end of file error, import error. So likewise you have multiple standard error classes. So these are all classes. Every word in the screen which you can see is a pure built-in class in Python. Okay, so name error, import error, EOF error, these are all errors. For all these errors, who is the super class? Standard error. Okay, so standard error is the super class. So tell me what is this inheritance concept? Tell me. Hmm? Hierarchical inheritance. Am I right or wrong? This is coming to here, this is coming to here, this is coming to here, this is coming to here. Am I right? Standard error is coming to every other what? Class. Okay. Now base exception into exception into standard error. So this way, if you look at it, it is a multi-level inheritance, right? It is hierarchical inheritance. It is multi-level inheritance. Correct. So if you stop up to here only, this is single inheritance. Correct. So concept of oops will be running around with us going forward. That is the reason I have tried showing the inheritance concept. But point is, you have to understand whenever I say inheriting kind of terms. Okay, so you understood the basically, these are all the exception classes, and these have come from standard error. Standard error has come from the exception class, and exception class has come from the base exception class. And tell me, who is the parent of base exception? Who is the parent of base exception? Base exception parent is object. You have forgotten, right? Any class in to that matter in Python, it's a supermost class is object class. Am I right? Okay. So let's now go ahead and understand how do we handle this exception. So you saw this program, right? So how do we handle this exception problem, sir? You see, exception handling. So how do we handle these exceptions? We need to handle our we need to handle exceptions because to make our program strong and secured. Okay, so because of this reason we have to handle. Okay, so to handle we have to follow some steps. Let me give the steps. We need to follow below steps to handle exceptions. Okay, step 1. Error possible statements we write here. Okay, step 2. Except exception handling statements we write here. Okay, step 3. Else results result statements or further logic we write here. Okay, step 4. Finally, mandatory statements to execute we write here. Okay, understand? So basically there are four key words you are going to see here: try, except, else, finally. Okay, so if you see in Java the same concept, there also try is the same, but instead of except there catch, catch. Okay, catch statement people write. Okay, and there is no else over there, and finally is also present. Excuse me, finally is also present in Java. Okay, so but their understanding exception handling concept in Java is little difficult because you have to understand a few more terminology like throw exception, throws exception. Throw means one thing, throws means something, Okay, so lots of terminology and understanding is required over there, but all those things we have we study here in simple manner with these four basic terms: try, accept, else, finally. Okay, let's try to understand these things implementing in program. So basically, error occurring possibility statements you will have to put in the try block, right? If, let's say, if error occurs in try block, then automatically exception handling statements will get executed. If error is there in try block, except statement gets executed. Like 100 by 0 is a error, right? That time except gets executed. If 100 by 10 is not error, no, so then result statements will execute and further logics gets executed in else block. We have to put manually. Okay, while developing logic only we have to put result statements in else block. Fine. Then what we have to put in finally block? In finally block, whatever you do, the mandatory important statements which are supposed to execute in the program, you have to go ahead and put in the finally block. Got it? So let me go ahead and, so now you say this as like program 4 and version 2. Okay, exception handling ex1. Okay, so basically what I am telling, try to start using the blocks. Okay, don't bother, this is indentation I kept 10, indentation width I kept 10, that's the reason it is moving to that internal. Okay, so error possible statements I have kept in the try block, right? Division equals to a by b, here itself it can throw division, right? Okay, now except print, please do not enter denominator as 0. Okay, so error handling statements, exception handling statements means these are not any rocket science kind of statements. What the point you have to understand is just you have to intimate to the end user that don't give denominator as 0. So who is intimating this? You are training your interpreter to tell this to the end user, understanding? So so interpreter is now from now onwards going to listen to you. Okay, this fellow is saying me to go to accept and execute the accept statements and put it show to the end user. So that is what interpreter will understand. Okay, so try, accept, else. So as I told you, else, the normal statements will be present in the else, like result statements. And finally, what I'm doing is finally block I'm writing where the important statements which are supposed to get execute for me all the time, I am putting in the finally block. Okay, control S, F5. Let me execute now. Enter numerator, so let me enter 100. So enter denominator, let me enter 10. So see, like the way first time also executed without exception handling also, if you give normal values, if you give normal values for the smoother execution, it is working fine. Why the reason we went ahead and learned exception handling? Because if a user gives this kind of values where your interpreter was not able to execute earlier, now how your interpreter is behaving, let's see. We have trained our interpreter with some specific code, no, that handling exception. So let me write 100 and denominator if I put 0, You see now what had happened, tell me. Like the way zero division error has come in the screen, like first time we have got it, right? So you have got first time zero division error without exception handling. Now after handling exceptions, right? See, purpose is what? Whether the above statements execute or not, this statement has to execute for me. That is the reason. That is the reason we have to. I mean, we have gone for the exception handling statement. Am I right? Okay. So take this program. I'll give 1 minute time. Just a sec. Changing my place. Okay, so you have understood, right? Basically, exception handling means this is what the exception handling concept, nothing great. These are the four keywords which we have to use and enclose our code in these four keywords. See, we are handling it. Okay, we are training our interpreter. Hey, interpreter, don't jump. I will help you how to send acknowledgements to end user that he has entered the wrong logic. So please tell him that don't enter denominator as x 0. So then you continue your execution of your further lines. Why are you jumping out without telling to me? Right? Don't act like that. Okay, that is not good for you and me. So that is how you are training your interpreter. Understood? Okay. Okay. So let me show something else. See, this is the syntax is what I said, right? So actually how it is happening, tell me, interpret this exception handling. First try block, okay, and tell me if this try block, if try block, write down this try block is, it is leading to error means, okay, if try block, if it is leading to error means, okay, what is going to happen? If try block, if it is no error, write down error and no error. Please write down this error and no error. If it is error, it is going to accept. Correct? If try block is going to lead error, if it is error, then it is going to accept. If it is no error, it is going to else. Correct? It is going to else. Okay. And you see, from here on, further statements for after else or after except, ultimately what is happening, tell me? Finally block. So finally block says, hey buggers, whether you execute your try block, you execute your except block, or try goes error except, or try goes no error else, or whatever you do, I am least bothered. If you are writing something in my block, 100% I will execute. Okay, so take care of that. Okay, be alert. I am the one mandatorily gets execute. So please utilize me accordingly. So mandatory statements which you want to get execute in the program, those statements only you write in finally block, right? So basically your flow of the program execution in only, it can happen in this direction or it can happen only in this direction. Are you understanding? So point is, in this except and else, only one block gets hey guys, can you able to hear me now? Just give response in the chat, yes, no. Okay, cool, thank you. So what I'm telling is, if will act as, sir, except will act as like if for else. Okay, so just for your remembrance I'm writing this, but nowhere if is related to exception handling, right? If execute, meaning except executes, else will not execute. If else executes, except will not execute. So as I told you, direction is a try except finally or try else finally. So try else finally is a smooth way. Try except finally is a, since error occurred, so that is the reason except we are executing. Understood, no? So let us proceed and try to understand, uh, you know possibilities in exception. Like, how many tries I can write, how many excepts I can write for each try, how many except. So can I write without except, can I write without try, can I write without else? Is it mandatory writing finally, is it not mandatory to write finally, is it mandatory to write except? So these possibilities we'll try to see. Okay, so just to take down some points. One try block can be followed with many except blocks. Okay, one try block can be followed with many except blocks. So multiple except blocks are used to handle multiple exceptions. We cannot write except block without try block. So try is mandate. Okay, without, we cannot write multiple except block without try block. Okay, we can write try block, try except, put it in quotes. So one try block can be followed by with many except blocks. Multiple except blocks are used to handle multiple exceptions. We cannot write except block without try block. We can write try block without except block. Okay, we can write try block without except block. So else and finally are not mandate to implement. Okay, they are not mandate for us. Else block executes only if there is no exception, right? Finally block executes all time. Fine. So these are some important points or possibilities I can tell you in regards to exception. Okay, so let's go ahead and see program to handle uh, two exceptions, more than one exception, right? So one try block can handle more than one exception, right? So how that will perform, let's see, control N, control S. So exp4, it's actually 5. I told you to write division by 0 in two versions, without exception handling, with exception handling. Okay, so now let us go ahead and uh, one try and two accepts. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, so let's proceed. So def, I'm going to define a function called average, and what I am passing here is I am passing a list as formal parameter. Okay, but for now I don't know lst is formal or actual, just I have written lst, but if I give integer, lst will become integer. If I give float, lst will become float. That is what the point you have to understand, right? Just now with the function prototype, you cannot decide lst is a list type. The way how what parameter values you pass at the time of calling in the actual parameter, according to that type, this also gets convert. I hope you all guys know that, right? So total is equals to 0. You take a variable. Now for I in your list, for I in your list, whatever the list which you are bringing inside, so total plus is equals to I. Okay, so what the point you are trying to do here is basically uh, you are finding sum and average of a given list. Okay, sorry, I missed writing this line. So point is you are trying to find out the sum as well as average for the given list. Okay, so this line helps you in finding the sum, correct? Now average is equals to how much, tell me? Total divided by length of your list. Am I right or wrong? Total divided by your length of your lst. Total number of elements, some total by number of elements, that gives the average. I hope you are getting, right? So now what you have to return to the program, tell me, return okay, so you return avg and you return total, correct? Understanding? So basically total will have the total list, sum of elements of your list, which you are going to give now, and average will contain total by length of list. Let us say if I give in the program, let's say if I give my list like 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, this is my list which I give. So can you tell me total become how much? Total becomes how much? 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15. Total will become 15. And can you tell me average becomes how much? 15 by total number of elements, 1 2 3 4 5. So 15 by 5 is how much? 3. So this is what I am talking about. This logic helps in constructing this kind of outputs, correct? Okay, so you are returning couple of variables to your program. Now you see, try, okay, your average, your total comma average is equals to, so you see what I am doing is I am passing on empty list first time. Okay, or else I am passing nothing. Okay, I am not passing anything, but it has to, we have to pass something, right? I am not passing anything. You see now what it is going to show. Print total is total the. So actually these two statements we can go ahead and write in the else block also. So that's the reason else block is not mandate all the time. Okay. Okay, fine. Now you're in the try block only we have displayed. Now except your, so this is one way of writing your exception. Except a type error. Now print please provide only numbers. Okay, now let me give except zero division. These are turning into blue color, right? Purple color. So what is the understanding? These are standard exception classes. Okay, so do not please do not give empty lists. Okay, so which error is handled by this type error class, and which exception is handled by this zero division error? Okay, now you see I have handled both kind of type of exceptions, possibilities of exceptions in this program. It can be two types of errors occur. Okay, so one can be like user gives, okay, let me give control S. Okay, so what it is telling, tell me, type error, please provide only numbers. So why it is saying like this, tell me? Because I have passed. See, tell me what is the first line gets executed in the program. So never function gets executed directly. So your function is not going to execute directly. So in the try block, so this is the first line gets executed in our program. So you are calling your function, average function, by passing on a list. So this list is the actual parameter, correct? Actual parameter, and this list will go and sit in your variable lst. So now this lst is also a proper list. Now total equals to 0 from I in lst. Okay, print lst of I means it will print hello and by one. But what we are trying to do here, we are trying to add hello, okay, to total variable. 0 plus hello, will it work? No, no. Am I right or wrong? 0 plus hello, will it work? No. So basically here it is saying, here is what it could not able to execute. So from here on it went into except type error. So it here itself interpreter understood it is type error. Okay, so it can directly throw out with some type error, but you are taking manually the type error class, you are representing in the except block, and you are giving your code. Okay, so you are mentioned, so because there are multiple errors are there means you have to give the exception class name. So therefore, accordingly, your interpreter will read the exception class name, and that class logic only gets executed. The class code only gets executed. This is what the got get executed. Now let me explain control S F5. 1 second. Okay, so rewriting this program just by changing one line. Okay, I mean don't write entire line, uh, just change this one line. Okay, just change this one line. Don't give any elements in the uh, you know actual parameter list. Just give empty list. So empty list, when you give control S F5, now which exception got handled? Now which exception got handled? Tell me now. Different exception class, second exception class got executed, that is zero division error. So type error, zero division error, these are all the default exceptions in Python. So how this output has come, let me explain, let me trace it. First, never interpreter executes your functions by default. You have to call the function. So first line in the program is this average, and average has got one parameter, that is list. What list? Empty list. So this empty list will be pushed into this LST. So total equals to 0. Now here list is empty, nothing is there in the list. Okay, so total also will be 0. Total equals to total plus 0. So ultimately total is 0, right? 0 by length of 0. So it is what? Length of LST is 0, no? So something by 0, in this case actually 0 by 0. So 0 by 0 also we say something by 0 only, right? Anything by 0 is infinity. Now average it cannot give because it is infinity. Whenever this infinity, this statement is what interpreter could not able to understand. It understood that it is zero division error. So shall I directly go ahead and display zero division error, or shall I look into the different except blocks? Yes, here user has given many except blocks. So let me search for my current exception which as I'm facing, that is zero division error is what I am facing now. So yes, this bugger is handled. This developer is nice guy, handled a zero division error. So what he is writing in the zero division? Let me go and check. Okay, he is telling to give this message to the user. What is that? Zero division error. Please do not give empty list. Okay. Let me go ahead and display this message in the monitor. So that is how your interpreter is working. So you see one try block only, but two except block, except one and except two. Okay, why is there two excepts you have given for one try? Okay, there in this situation there are two different possibilities of errors may occur. So that is the reason I have handled two different except blocks. Okay, likewise in real time you may have to handle the error may, if you go in this way error may come X, if you go in that way your error may come Y, if you go in altogether in a complete different way error may come Z, right? I'm just telling. So based on your concept, right, there may be different types of errors you have to handle. At that time you can give n number of except blocks. So that is what the point is. Okay, so just take this. So what you have to do is you just please mention. So after program first time what you have to give here in the list. Okay, hi, please take like this, hi, bye. Okay, so when you give this for the first time, output is what? Type error, right? And once after you give, after write down first this entire program and then give output as type error, and after which what you do in your notes, you write down just change, edit the above program by giving empty list at the time of calling average function. Okay, so how do you give empty list? Hmm? Like t comma a equals to average of, so just replace this line here, okay, and re-execute your code so that you will see zero division error as like output. Okay, I hope you have understood. Okay, so take this program. Okay, so we'll pause here.